This next segment is for the history buffs out there. Did you know that Madison's downtown business district is the nation's largest historic landmark district in the country? Great Day Live's Elle Bottom takes us out for a day strolling through Madison's history.
Downtown Madison is the largest continuous National Historic Landmark District in the U.S., and today we're going to talk all about it. Today I'm here with John Stacer, the Executive Director of Historic Madison. Thank you so much for joining us.
Well, it's great to be here with you today, Elle. We're so excited that WHAS is here in town today filming.
Yeah. So where does the historic district start and what can be found here?
Well, the historic district is huge. As you said, it's the largest contiguous National Historic Landmark District in the United States. So it stretches from the river out in back of us to the bluffs, the hills that surround Madison, and it covers about 133 blocks in the downtown. So that includes over 1,600 historic properties, homes, churches, business buildings. Commercial Main Street is one of the most beautiful main streets in the United States. Even industrial buildings. We have industrial buildings that have been rehabbed into living spaces, hotels, and we have the Schrader Saddle Tree Factory Museum, which is a fabulous industrial museum, all here in downtown Madison.
It is absolutely stunning, so you have to check it out. But of course, it's home to 4 National Historic Sites, and you should probably start your journey at the Jefferson County Historical Center. So what's all inside?
I'll answer that, but let me tell you a little bit about the 4 historic sites first, right? So the first one is the Madison National Historic Landmark District. That's one National Historic Landmark. We have the Shrewsbury-Wendell House, which is the fabulous home we're standing in right now. There's the JFD Lanier Mansion, which is a state-owned historic site, the first of its kind in the state. And then there's the Eleutherian College, 7 miles out of town here in Madison. Madison is significant for its architecture and also for its association with the Underground Railroad. And at the Jefferson County Historical Society, you could learn the whole history of Madison and Jefferson County and the architecture, the Underground Railroad, industry, the historic homes, Civil War, all sorts of things that happened in Madison over the years.
So what about the Lanier Mansion? Who lived there back in the day?
Well, that was the home of James F.D. Lanier and his family. And Lanier famously loaned the state of Indiana $1 million during the Civil War from his own personal fortune to help supply Indiana's troops fighting in the Civil War. So it became the first state historic landmark in Indiana in the 1920s. And the Lanier family built it in the 1840s and lived there up until just about the 1920s.
Wow. And another historical site is Eleutherian College. So why is that so significant?
Well, Eleutherian College was founded in the 1840s by the Neels Creek Abolition Society, and it was one of the earliest colleges in the United States to permit people of any race or gender to attend. And the college, the founders and the people that went there were all involved in the Underground Railroad in some way, shape, or form, again, helping enslaved peoples from the South migrate to freedom in the North. So it's very important in national history.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, we can't forget the house that we're in today.
Well, the Shrewsbury-Wendell House is one of the most fabulous homes in the United States. It's got the original interior of this room is the original paint and varnish finishes on the walls and the plaster and the woodwork. Original gas chandeliers from the Shrewsbury family period in the 1840s, 1850s. Original oil portraits that you might be able to see behind me hanging on the wall of the family. So it's one of the great restored and conserved historic homes in the United States. There was only 3 families that owned the house, which was why it was in such great condition when we acquired it in 2011. And we recently restored it with a $2.2 million award-winning restoration. And now it's open to the public and available for rental for events and activities and that sort of thing.
It is absolutely stunning. So when you're in downtown Madison, you certainly have to check it out. But there are other ways to explore history too, not just visiting these historic sites. You also have different markers around town too, right?
Oh, there's plenty of historical markers and signs around town talking about the history with photos and text. So walking up and down the river is a great way to get oriented to the town. Main Street has signs on it too as well. And there's also various ways to access information about Madison online through the Visit Madison website and through the Historic Madison website, as well as the Jefferson County Historical Society and the Eleutherian College Historical website.
One of the first things you'll notice on the approach into downtown Madison is block after block of vibrant businesses on both sides of the street. It is so impressive, and you can't help but get excited when you come into town. And I know one person that's always excited about the business growth happening here in Madison is Richard Ice, Executive Director of the Madison Area Chamber of Commerce. I mean, it's really impressive when you drive in. You're like, wow, this place is in business. Lights are open, you know, come relocate here. And that makes your job pretty easy, I bet, right?
It does. It makes it super easy. And what you see coming into our downtown is only half of what we have. You can go up on our hilltop, and when you go on our hilltop, you're really going up a hill. And that's where we have all our modern businesses, our everyday shopping, grocery stores and clothing stores and stuff. But downtown is more of our tourist businesses, and it's vibrant, like you said. It's just amazing. There's businesses all up and down Main Street. We have everything. You know, we have the worldwide headquarters of a couple of companies. Grody Manufacturing is here, their worldwide headquarters is here. And then it goes down from there. And they open a business up and put it on Main Street, and tourists pour into them.
From modern apothecaries to boutiques to, exactly. I think I saw, you know, coffee and lunch spots.
We have coffee, there's a bookstore, one of the few bookstores left in the country, little independent bookstore, it's great. We have a few restaurants, a couple of adult spots for beverages. Live music in the evening is incredible in this town. If you walk down our Main Street on a Saturday night, you're going to hear live music coming from 4 or 5 different places. It's just phenomenal.
In your role here with the Chamber, like what kind of support and services do you offer these businesses? You know, A, when they say, hey, we're coming, or I'm opening this up, to, oh, now you're here, how are things going?
The chambers in general have changed over the years. It used to be the Chamber's job was to connect with the government, take the business interests and concerns to the government. We don't do that anymore. You know, emails and phones, and everybody can talk to whoever they want to now. So what we've morphed into is more education. How do we help you grow your business? What do you need to know in marketing? What do you need to know put together to go get a loan to grow your business? Networking, getting one-to-one. We did a business after hours last night at Friendship State Bank. Probably 20 or 30 people showed up, just glad-handing and talking to each other and making those connections. And that's what the Chamber's up to doing now, educating and making connections.
People probably are genuinely excited to be here doing business.
They are. And that's a nice part of our business. You know, we have national companies coming in. Hobby Lobby's coming to town. TJ Maxx is coming to town. Five Below. Scooter's Coffee is doing a grand opening next week. But we also have the local. We have probably 20 or 30 just individual local-owned businesses on Main Street. Clothing and knickknacks and, like you said, coffee. And we just, it's amazing the vibrancy of business in this town.
What do you think? I mean, what's the secret sauce, if you will, that you can tell us? That what is it about the climate here and what's happening here that's making business so successful? Where I'm sure you probably have people knocking on your door wanting to bring more.
Yes, they do. We about once a week we have somebody call and say, hey, is there a business on Main Street, building on Main Street open that we can get into? And it's like, well, not right now. Give us a few more months. And
that's a great problem to have.
Yeah, very few towns our size have that. Very few towns in general on their Main Street have that problem. Our secret sauce is the people. I was one of those people, graduated high school, swore I'd never be back. Was gone for 10 years, came back. And that's what I think is the secret of this town. It's not the people that stayed. Well, it is the people that stayed. They kept going. It's not the people that moved in. They're important also. But the people who left saw there isn't anything any better than Madison out there and come back to Madison. You know, they're the ones who tell the real story. We've been out there. We've seen it. Indianapolis, no better than Madison. Louisville, no better than Madison. Doesn't matter where they've gone.
And you have that livability here, too.
And you have the livability. You know, you can sell your $300,000 apartment condo in Indianapolis, come down here and buy a 2,000 square foot house and still have money in the bank. I think that's our secret sauce.
To get started planning your next trip to Madison, go to visitmadison.org.